Alrighty guys, welcome to the video here today for Wednesday, September 21st, 2022. My name is Brock Page and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. I also sell my personal sports bets on patreon.com/BrockPage. And we are now 10-1 with a push in our last dozen NFL tier package bets on that site. Now the link for those bets is in the description section below. And just remember guys, if you sign up for that membership here today, you're going to get access to that package every single day, all the way until October 1st. And as an added bonus here, guys, I'm going to go ahead and throw in all my cheaper memberships for you absolutely free. Now, I currently have over 645 members who are signed up and active on my website right now. And once again, guys, the link for my NFL tier package bets is in the description section below. And with that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to take a look at the Gnats taking on the Braves, 12:20 p.m. East. Atlanta's minus 270, totals 8.5. Bryce Elder for Atlanta, Paolo Espino for Washington. And after 6 months of baseball, well, the Nats' Paolo Espino, he's still in search of his first win. He's 0-7 on the year through 104 innings pitched. Meanwhile, as a team, the Gnats dropped 8 out of their last 10. And they have the worst record in baseball. They're facing a red-hot Atlanta team on the other side who won their last 5 straight. And they currently lead the National League in homers. Austin Riley has a club-best 37 home runs on the season. Meanwhile, starting pitcher Bryce Elder, he comes into today's contest with an ERA in the 3s. Now, when it comes to the total in this one, the Braves have averaged just about 6 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Washington. Meanwhile, the Nats are 60% to the over in their divisional road games. I'm going to lean toward Atlanta minus 1.5, over 8.5 runs. Next ball game I have for you, it is going to be Mets at the Brewers. And that's going to be a 2:10 Eastern first pitch in Milwaukee. Now, the Mets are minus 130 on the road with the total at 8.5 runs. Looks like Taijuan Walker's getting the start here for New York. We should be seeing Adrian Hauser on the other side for Milwaukee. Now, the Brewers did see overs in 4 out of Adrian Hauser's last 6 starts. Milwaukee's also gone 6-2 to the over in their last 8 ball games at home. They're taking on a Mets club who saw overs in 6 out of their last 10 outings themselves. When it comes to selecting a winner in this one, this game's being featured as my $1.99 daily best play on my website here today. So if you want to see whether I like the Mets or the Brewers in this spot here, there's only one way to find out, and that's to sign up for my $1.99 daily best play on patreon.com/rockpage. And once again, guys, as the name indicates, it's only going to cost you just $1.99. Now, real quick, guys, as an added bonus, if you sign up for that package here today, you're actually going to get access to that membership every single day all the way until October 1st. It's not just a one-day pass. You're going to get full access to that daily best play every single day all the way until October 1st. And once again, the link for that bet is in the description section below. But as far as making a free pick is concerned, I'm going to lean toward the over 8.5 runs in that contest. All right, next ball game, Red Sox taking on the Reds, 6:40 p.m. East. Boston's minus 175 on the road, totals 9.5. Connor Seabold for Boston, Chase Anderson for Cincinnati. And out of just 14 innings of work this season, Chase Anderson already has an ERA in the 6s. Meanwhile, as a team, Cincinnati lost 8 out of their last 10. And they easily have one of the worst pitching staffs in baseball. These guys give up more home runs a game than any other team in the league except for one. They're squaring off against a Boston team on the other side of things who's actually had little problems getting base runners this year. These guys are in the top 5 in team batting average. And they're led by Xander Bogaerts, who's hitting .315 at the plate. Meanwhile, teammate Rafi Devers, he has a club best 27 homers and 84 runs batted in. Now, when it comes to the total in this one, 6 out of Boston's last 9 interleague road games got over the number. They're actually 12-7 to the over in all of their contests against the National League, regardless of location. So I'm going to lean toward Boston minus 175, over 9.5. Next matchup I have for you, it is going to be Astros at the Rays, 6:40 p.m. East. Now Houston's minus $1.25 on the road, total 7 runs. Lance McCullers for Houston, Corey Kluber for Tampa Bay. And even though Klubs has double-digit wins on the year, he does come into today's game with a 4.44 ERA. Now the Rays have also dropped 2 straight to Houston in this very series, and they've yet to score a run. They were actually shut out 2 games in a row. Now they're also facing Lance McCullers, who has just 1 loss on the year, along with a 2.34 ERA. The fly is back. Wow. The fly is back. How's that thing living? Wow. Anyway, they're facing Lance McCullers. I just said that. 1 loss on the year, 2.34 ERA. Now, the Red Hot Astros have won 9 out of their last 10, and they're in the top 5 in hitting the long ball. Yordan Alvarez, he is a team best 37 home runs. He's 3rd in the league in that category. Meanwhile, Kyle Tucker's 6th in the league in RBI with 100. When it comes to the total, the Astros have held Tampa Bay to just 2.8 runs a game in their last 10 head-to-head meetings. Houston's also 66% to the under in all of their road games. Now, Tampa Bay, on the other side, they saw 4 out of their last 5 at the Trop stay under the total as well. I'm going to lean toward Houston minus $1.25, under 7. Next ball game, it is going to be Cubs Marlins, 6:40 p.m. East. Miami's minus $1.25, total 6.5. Jesus Luzardo for Miami, Marcus Stroman for Chicago. And even though Stroman's consistently had solid outings this year, the Cubbies just didn't want to win for the guy. He's got only 4 wins on the season and an obvious losing record. The Cubbies have also had a tough time at the plate. They're in the bottom 10 in road scoring. Now they're facing Jesus Luzardo on the mound here for Miami, and he's been, tough to hit against this year. He's got an ERA in the 3s along with a 1.09 whip. And when it comes to striking batters out, this Miami pitching staff's in the top 10 in strikeouts per 9. And when it comes to the number, the Fish saw unders in 6 out of their last 10 outings. Meanwhile, Chicago's 4-0 to the under in their last handful of Marcus Stroman starts. I'm going to lean toward Miami minus $1.25, under 6.5. Next matchup, it is going to be Blue Jays at the Phillies, 6:45 East. Philadelphia is minus $1.20 at home, totals 8 runs. Zach Wheeler for the Titans, Kevin Gausman for Toronto. Now, Gausman's got a dozen wins on the season and 108 strikeouts. When it comes to hitting the baseball, no one gets on base more than Toronto. These guys are leading the league in team batting average. Alejandro Kirk, he's hitting just about 300 at the dish. Meanwhile, Bo Bichette, he also has a team best 89 runs batted in. Now they're taking on a Phillies club on the other side of things who lost their last 5 straight. They've also had their hands full with the American League. These guys are just 7-9 straight up in their interleague contest. Now, Philadelphia has also had a tough time winning for Wheeler lately. They lost in their last 2 straight Wheeler starts, and in addition to that, they also dropped ball games in 4 out of their last 7 Wheeler starts as well. Now, when it comes to the scoring, we saw 29 total runs in last night's contest alone between these 2 squads. The Phils also saw 3 out of their last 4 at Citizens Bank Park get over the line. Meanwhile, Toronto's 60% to the over in their last 10. I'm going to lean toward Toronto plus $1, over 8. I apologize. I keep looking out the door. I have a sliding glass door here, and the most pun intended, I guess not a pun intended, but ironically, the most beautiful Blue Jays continue to fly across. I know that sounds like not believable just because I covered the Blue Jays game, but we have these beautiful Blue Jays that just fly from tree to tree. Going to miss them. I think they're migrating in about a year. So anyway, moving on. That sounds like a lie. That doesn't even sound believable, but it's true. Anyway, Next game, Tigers, Orioles, 7:05 East. Baltimore's minus 160, totals 8 runs. Jordan Lyles for the O's, Matt Manning for Detroit. And even though Matt Manning's got some decent numbers, the Tigers have a tough time winning on the road. They have a .369 win percentage while traveling this year, and they also have the worst lineup of hitters in baseball. These guys score fewer runs a game than any other club in the bigs. They also have to face Jordan Lyles, who's got 129 strikeouts and double-digit wins. Now, the O's are also 9 games above 500 in their contests at Camden Yards. When it comes to hitting the baseball, Ryan Mountcastle still leads the franchise with 79 runs batted in. Now, total-wise, 8 out of Baltimore's last 10 meetings with Detroit stayed under the number. So if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. They also saw 4 out of their last 6 Jordan Lyles starts stay under the line. Meanwhile, Detroit's gone 62% to the under in all of their road games. Give me Baltimore minus 160, under 8. Next matchup, Pirates-Yankees, 7:05 East. The New York Yankees are minus $3, totals 8 runs. Luis Severino for New York, Ronzi Contreras for Pittsburgh. And even though Ronzi's having a pretty good season, the Buccos are on a 5-game losing streak. Now, these guys' biggest problem is the bats. They're averaging only 3.6 runs a game for the year, and they're striking out more times a game than any other club in the National League. They're also facing Luis Severino, who's just 5 strikeouts shy of the century mark. Sevy's also got an ERA in the 3s, along with a 1.07 whip. When it comes to hitting the baseball, no one hits for power more than New York. Aaron Judge has a league-best 60 home runs. We're talking about Judgian home runs, according to the Yankees announcer. Of course, Judge, he's leading the majors in RBI and OPS. Meanwhile, Giancarlo Stanton and Anthony Rizzo, they've combined for nearly 60 homers between the two of them as well. Stantonian blast. That sounds like a lot better than Judgian blast. It makes more sense. Stantonian blast, Stantonian home runs. But anyway, total-wise, 4 out of the Yankees' last 5 ball games in the Bronx got over the line. They also went 7-3 to the over in their last 10 contests at any location. I'm going to lean toward the Yankees minus 1.5, over 8 runs. Next ball game, Angels-Rangers, 8:05 East. Texas is minus 145, totals 8.5. Dane Dunning for Texas, Tucker Davidson for Los Angeles. Now, the Angels actually got the W in 4 out of their last 5 ball games. And that includes victories over Seattle and the Rangers. When it comes to cashing in on the run line, the Angels have been very good on the road. They're 22-11 against the number in their divisional road games. And that's good for 67% in that category. They're led by Shohei Ohtani, who's got a team-best 89 runs batted in. He's going up against Dane Dunning, who's 3-8 on the season, with an ERA in the 4s. Now, the Rangers have also lost their last 3 straight, and they struggle in their divisional home games. These guys have a .388 win percentage against the AL West at Globe Life Field. When it comes to the total in this one, 3 out of Dunning's last 4 starts for Texas did fall under the number. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Angels plus 1.5, under 8.5. Next ball game, Twins, Royals, 8:10 p.m. East. Minnesota's minus 140, total 7.5. Bailey Ober for the Twins, Danny Lynch for Kansas City. Now, Lynch is just 4-11 on the year with an ERA in the 5s. Meanwhile, as a team, the Royals dropped 7 out of their last 10. They've been little threat hitting for power. These guys are in the bottom 3 in home runs per contest. Now, they also have to face Bailey Ober, who's got an ERA of 3.49, along with a 1.16 whip. As a matter of fact, this Minnesota pitching staff has thrown fairly well while traveling this year. They're in the top 10 in fewest road hits allowed. Now, when it comes to the total in this one, oddly enough, Minnesota's gone 60% to the under when they bat first. They're also 7-3 to the under in their last 10 at any location. I'm going to lean toward the Twins, minus 140, under 7.5. Next ball game, it is going to be Guardians taking on the White Sox, 8:10 p.m. East. Chicago's minus 140, total 7.5. Lance Lynn for the Chi Sox, Tristan McKenzie for Cleveland. Now, McKenzie's got double-digit wins on the year along with a whole bunch of strikeouts. He's fanned nearly 175 batters this year. He also has an ERA in the low threes along with a .97 whip. Meanwhile, as a team, the Guardians have won 8 out of their last 10 ball games, and they do a great job of hitting the baseball on the road. Cleveland's currently in the top 3 in road hits, and they're led by Andres Jimenez, who's hitting just about 300 at the plate. Meanwhile, teammate Jose Ramirez, he's third in the bigs right now in RBI. He's got 115 of those. When it comes to the total, 6 out of Cleveland's last 10 outings did get over the line. Meanwhile, Chicago, on the other side, they saw overs in 6 out of their last 10 themselves. I'm going to lean toward Cleveland plus 1.5, over 7 and a hook. Next ball game, it is going to be Giants at the Rockies, 8:40 p.m. East. San Francisco's minus 135, totals 10 runs. Logan Webb for San Francisco, German Marquez for Colorado. And even though Marquez hasn't really been stellar, he still has over 125 strikeouts on the year. Now, the Rockies as a team, they've also pounded the baseball in Denver. These guys are leading the league in home scoring. C.J. Cron, he's currently leading the franchise right now. He's actually 5th in the league right now in RBI. The first baseman has 101 ribbies and nearly 30 homers on the year. These guys doing a great job putting runners across the plate in the high elevation. Now, they're facing a Giants team who's had a tough time on the road this year. Out of these guys' 30 divisional road games, they picked up the W only 10 times. Now, their lineup's also in the bottom 5 in hits per game away from home. When it comes to the total, San Fran's gone 63% to the over against the NL West while traveling. Meanwhile, Colorado saw 5 out of their last 8 Marquez starts get over the total. I'm going to lean toward Colorado plus 1.5, over 10. Next ball game should be a good one. Wild card implications here. I'm talking about the Cardinals at the Padres, 9:40 p.m. East. San Diego's the $1.30 favorite at home, total 7.5. Blake Snell for the Padres, Miles Mikolas for St. Louis. Now, Mikolas has 11 wins on the year, along with a 3.46 ERA. He's also got a solid 1.05 whip. And even if Mikolas doesn't pitch well, these St. Louis boys love to hit the baseball. They're in the top 5 in OPS at the dish, and they're led by Paul Goldschmidt, who's hitting .322 at the dish. He's also in the top 5 in both RBI and OPS. He's going to face Blake Snell here today, who comes into today's start for San Diego with a losing 7-9 record. Now, the San Diego lineup has also struggled getting on base at Petco Park. These guys are currently in the bottom 3 in hits per game at home. Now, when it comes to the scoring, the Pods saw unders in 6 out of their last 10 outings. Meanwhile, St. Louis on the other side, they went 7-3 to the under in their last 10. I'm going to lean toward the Cardinals plus 1.5, under 7 and a hook. Next ball game, it is going to be Mariners at the Athletics, 9:40 p.m. East. Seattle's minus 220, total 7 runs. Robbie Ray for the M's, James Caprillion for Oakland. Now, Cappy's just 3-9 on the year with an ERA close to 5. The A's have also had problems getting on base all season long. They're currently dead last in team batting average, dead last in OPS. They also have to face Robbie Ray on the mound here today, and he's been very good for Seattle this year. He's actually just 6 strikeouts away from 200. The Rays also got a dozen wins on the year. Robbie Ray's got a dozen wins on the year and an ERA in the 3s. Now, when it comes to hitting the baseball, the M's do a nice job of scoring on the road. These guys are currently in the top 10 in runs per contest while traveling. Eugenio Suarez, he has a team best 31 homers and 84 runs batted in. When it comes to the total, the M's could very well put this one over the total themselves. They're already 21-16 to the over in divisional road games. Meanwhile, Oakland went 7-3 to the over in their last 10. I'm going to lean towards Seattle minus 1.5, over 7 runs. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. It is going to be Diamondbacks at the Dodgers, 10:10 Eastern start time. The LA Dodgers are the $3 favorite at home, totals 8.5 runs. Dustin May for Los Angeles, Madison Bumgarner for Arizona. Now, Mad Bum's lost 15 games this year and has an ERA in the 5s. Arizona's also taken the loss in 5 out of their last 6 ball games, and they were held to just 2.2 runs a game in those losses. They're facing a Dodger club on the other side who won 8 out of their last 10. And they've lost only 19 ball games at home this year. When it comes to hitting, no one does it better than the Dodgers. These guys lead the league in scoring and OPS. Mookie Betts has a team-leading 34 home runs. Meanwhile, Freddie Freeman leads the majors with a .330 batting average. Now, when it comes to the number in this one, 7 out of LA's last 10 outings fell under the total. Meanwhile, Arizona's gone 80% to the under in their last 10 themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Dodgers -1.5, under 8.5. With that, guys, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap. Powered to you by my website. I like Atlanta -1.5, over 8.5. I also like the over 8.5 in the Mets-Brewers game. If you want to pick on the total there, that game's being featured as my daily best play on my website. I like Boston -175, over 9.5. Give me Houston -1.25, under 7. Miami -1.25, under 6.5 runs. Toronto +$1, over 8. Baltimore -160, under 8 runs. New York Yankees -1.5, over 8. LA Angels +1.5, under 8.5. Minnesota -140, under 7.5 runs. Cleveland +1.5, over 7.5. Colorado +1.5, over 10. St. Louis +1.5, under 7.5 runs. Seattle -1.5, over 7. With my next and final free pick, I'm going to lean toward the Dodgers -1.5 and the under 8.5 runs. And real quick here, guys, if you're watching me on TikTok here today, if you're looking for full game breakdowns, I do that every single day on YouTube. Basically, all you're watching right now is the last minute of my video. It's called the Quick Pick Recap. I do 25 to 30 minute videos every single day with full game breakdowns. So check me out on my YouTube channel. All you got to do is type in Brock Page. It'll be the first thing that pops up. I'm pretty popular on YouTube if you don't already know. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my website. Now, if you guys do end up getting a membership here today on patreon.com/BrockPage, just keep in mind you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today, you're going to get access to that package every single day all the way until October 1st. Although I do tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. And guys, if you want to get access to every single bet, every single package, every single day, you're going to want to sign up for my board member package. It's an all-inclusive membership. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, guys, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.